This is Motivate, where motivation is key. I'm your host, David Bohannon, and we're here today to talk about 5 reasons a business fails. 5 reasons business fails. And so we want to get right into it today. Thank you for joining us today. So 5 reasons businesses fail. One of the reasons businesses fail is their inability to pivot. One of the things with COVID-19 that has happened is it's given us an opportunity to think, to plan, to analyze, to look at our businesses, and then hopefully there should be a pivot or something different you need to do based on the impact that your business has just taken or the hit your business has taken. When you think about people that go to war, and we're using the word pivot, but you can also use the word assess, right? And that they go to war, they go out, they come back, they want to know how many casualties they have, how far has the enemy pushed into their territory or where they're at in the enemy's territory. And so then they pivot, then they adjust, and then they go back and they realize, they think about how many troops they need to send forward. So one of the reasons businesses fail is their inability to pivot, their inability to change, their inability to adjust. Oftentimes I think about a lot of the ball players and people with a lot of money, and there's several stories out there, and they talk about how most athletes who had millions of dollars end up broke. The second reasons businesses fail is they don't know enough about the industry that they get involved with. Somebody comes up to them and got a great idea and they got money and they're not sure how to handle the money. Many of them have said in many interviews, all of a sudden they have millions of dollars and they're not sure how to handle it. They're not sure what to do with it. They're not sure how to invest it. And so people come to them with these schemes and ideals and things like that, and they end up broke because they don't know enough about the industries that they're getting involved with, the industries that they're investing their money into. And in a lot of cases, the people that bring them ideals don't have a lot of ideals. And so that's another reason businesses fail. That's number 2. That's number 2 on why businesses fail. And so when you think about 1, when we go back to 1, and it's the learning to move and adjust and pivot and change. One of the solutions that have been giving people coming and still dealing really with COVID-19, as I've noticed a lot of basic businesses or brick and mortar businesses, they don't have an online presence. And one of the ways I'm encouraging them to pivot these days is to create an online presence. And I've been given the example that in the case of the beauty shops and salons and those types of businesses, and I always pose this what if question. What if right before COVID-19, you had been setting up an online business, and during COVID-19, your employee or your clients could not get to you? They could have been buying products from you. They could have been buying do-it-yourself kits from you. They could have been purchasing, things to keep themselves together when they couldn't get to you, which would have provided another stream of income to you. And so that is the solution, or one of the solutions, to not pivoting. Pivot. Look at your business. What other ways can you adjust your business moving forward? I'm talking to a restaurateur who has 3 restaurants that all got shut down, and my suggestion to him as it relates to pivot was to create a product that he could sell online, whether it be a famous sauce or something of that nature. And again, creating that online presence for his business so that he has other income coming in other than just his traffic. Very successful. We're doing very well. But when all the local businesses shut down, that killed his restaurant. So pivot. Think of ways to adjust your business. Think of ways to add streams of income to your business. Think of ways, if we go back to that example of restaurant, What if he had a book, a cookbook, a book of recipes, a book of, the most famous dishes, a cookbook with the most popular dishes in his restaurant that he sold? Again, another way that he can pivot. And when it comes to an industry, if you're out there and you have a lot of money to invest in a restaurant, A, get people around you who really know what they're doing. B, really educate yourself on that industry before you dump all your money into it. Have a good working knowledge or understanding, or surround yourself with people that have a good working knowledge and understanding that is going to help you through that period. And then even if you find someone who's really good, make sure you're learning from them. Make sure you know what to do in case you lose that individual. But learn more about the industry that you're going to invest in, how it operates, what you need to do to succeed, and things like that. But that's another reason, number two, why people go out of business. They don't know enough about the industry. And then three is the lack of a real plan. As I've coached people, I've worked with them, and I see them spending money with no real rhyme or reason on why they're spending that money. And so have a plan. What is your plan as it relates to your business? What is the next phase? Where do you want to see yourself? Why are you doing what you're doing, and where are you trying to grow? Are you trying to get another restaurant in that case? Or are you trying to get another location? If you have shops and salons, what is it you're trying to accomplish? What is your plan? Because when things get rough, if you don't have a plan, then you're just lost, because you don't have a real reason on why you're doing what you're doing. You don't have a real reason on what it is you're trying to obtain. And so when crises like now come up, you don't know where to go. You don't know what to do. And so one of the things we want to do is plan out our businesses, and then being willing to pivot, learn more about what we're getting into, and then move forward with that. And so number three is the lack of a real plan. And so the answer to that is create a plan. Create a plan, know where you're going, know why you're doing what you're doing, and know what you want to accomplish. Set those goals, so that you know where you're going. By 2021, I'm going to have a second shop, or whatever your goal is going to be. But set those goals so that when tough times go, you can look back at the goals or the plans, and you know why you're doing what you're doing. You can assess where you are and know what you need to do to go forward. But when you don't have a plan, then you're just lost. You're stuck, you're lost, and that's another reason that businesses fail. The other reason businesses fail is we get caught up as operators in the day-to-day of the business, and we're not planning enough for the future. We don't have a bird's eye view on what it is we're doing and being able to work our business from a bird's eye view, and we get buried in the day-to-day. Many years ago when I was in the restaurants, we used to call it tunnel vision. That manager has developed tunnel vision, and all they can see is what's in front of them on the next shift. They're short-handed. The restaurant's getting dirty. I was in the restaurant industry for years. The restaurant's getting dirty, and that's all they can see. And somebody comes from the outside, and they can see that the systems have broke down and that they need to reinstitute their system, whether it's their hiring system, their cleaning system, their prep system for food, their prep guides, or whatever the case may be in those particular situations. And that person that has developed that tunnel vision, they can only see that they got to be here tomorrow, and they didn't work 12 hours yesterday. So to work your business from the outside constantly, you're going to hit those valleys. We call them that survival stage. You're going to hit those occasionally with your business, but knowing what you need to do to work out of them, the plan to get out of them. And so you're not always there, so you can get back to the bird's eye view of your company. For example, what keeps pulling you in? Oh, I got to get to the day-to-day operations. I don't have a driver today. I don't have a cook today. I don't have, someone that can do, hair today, and there's 5 appointments coming in. Whatever the case may be for you or applies in your business, figure out where that breakdown in your system is. fix that breakdown so you can get back to that global approach to your business and not just so focused on the day-to-day. The day-to-day is important, but the goal is to work out of that and that you can really start running a business. Because when you don't get out of the day-to-day operations of your business, then you have a glorified job because it owns you. You don't own it. It's driving you. You're not driving it. So that's another reason that businesses fail, because there's things coming, and because they're just trying to make it, they don't see beyond that. And if you are in that survival stage, if you go back, you can look at a couple of our videos last week, survival we taught on Monday. You can go back and look at that video, and we tell you how to operate in that survival mode. Are you organized? Have you assessed what's going on? Do you know where your problems are? So go back and look at that video on survival, and that will help you if you're in that stage. But to get out of that day-to-day operation of your business so that you can plan your future, so you can plan your goals, so you know where you're going in your business. And then that way you're just not sucked in by the day-to-day, and that's number 4. And then number 5 reason that businesses fail is, again, there's no understanding of what's expected of you. There's no understanding of what's expected. And by that we mean, what are your customers expecting? And that really could go with not knowing your business or not knowing your industry. That kind of intersects, but not knowing what's expected of you, because you cannot deliver what you don't understand. You cannot deliver if you don't know it's what the customers want or the clients want. And so one of the reasons that they fail is just a lack of understanding of what's expected. And so, and one of the other reasons, we're going to give you a bonus, number 6, as we get ready to close today's session. Number 6 is an unwillingness to work. Businesses will fail 100% of the time if you're not willing to put in the work. Well, David, you just said that, get out of the day-to-day. Yes, at some point you have to work out of the day-to-day. But even if you're working from a bird's eye view on your business, it's a lot of work. And so the question is, are you willing to work to make that business successful? A lot of people want the success, but they don't want the work. And the work is the journey to the success. And really, success itself is a journey and not a destination. Check out our other videos. This has been Motivate, where motivation is key. I am your host, David Bohannon, where we are business, we're for business, and we're to business. We will see you on the next video. God bless.